Hello everyone, I'm back. It's been a little bit extra time, but I realised, I think it was last week that I did one on Wednesday, so you haven't been waiting as long, hopefully. This was just the best time I could do it. It's currently Tuesday morning and I have a bit of like meditation reflection time before class, so I'm going to make this video and then I will do as I'm meant to be doing. But yeah, I thought this would be a good time to make it because we've got a busy day today, more than usual in the afternoon, so yes, this was a good time. First of all, thank you all for your prayer for my health. I am doing almost 100% better. I've still got like a little bit of a cough, but apart from that I'm doing good. It really didn't last long, like throughout the week I just got gradually better, so it's just like a normal cold, thankfully. Which was awesome, and yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. It's been, I'm gonna say this every time, and I think it's just the life here, but it's been a busy week. But it's been a really good week actually. I've really enjoyed this week. We're now on, was that week 7? Let me check, because if so, that is wild. Yeah, we just did week 7, so I'm currently in week 8, which is crazy. We only have like 3 more speakers of lecture phase, which is wild. But yeah, so this week was quite a big week. I've got notes just so I don't like forget anything, so if I'm looking down, that's why. But yeah, this week was a big week of like, I feel like there was a lot of different cultural stuff this week, and just a lot of socializing together, which was really nice. Yeah, just like lots of different examples of that, which I think I'll talk about. One of them was on, I'm jumping to Saturday already, but one of them on Saturday, one of the couples that lives here, they're from India, and they invited us over to their little room for some lunch, which was really nice. Very much missionary vibes, because it was like in their tiny little apartment room, and we all sat like on their sofa and then on their bed and then on their chairs, and they just had this little table full of food that they had made us, and oh my goodness, it was so good. It was biryani, and then there was some little like spicy other things, and then we had dessert, and it was so good. So that was really fun. That was really nice. They're a lovely couple and really good hosts. But yeah, if we go back to Monday, we usually have like built-in meditation and worship time. So on Monday mornings we have worship, and we did this really nice meditation. It was a bit more traditional, and we did like different readings and then song responses as staff. And that was really nice. Like, it's just such a good way to set up a morning, so I really enjoyed that. And throughout the week it was more like meditation style worship, which I think is really good, because I think often we kind of rush into worship and then it's like, whoa, I'm worshipping and I'm not really awake yet. So doing some kind of meditation is really nice to kind of pray into it. So I really liked that. Monday was a good day. We had a prayer walk, which was really nice. We went to Polk Street, which it is doing better now, but it used to be the street where a lot of the male prostitutes would be. So it was like, we're going, like, it's fine now. And we went in the day, so obviously it was safe. And we just kind of walk around, and then we found somewhere to sit. There was a nice area with benches. So we sat and we just prayed Psalm 23 over the area, which was really powerful, because obviously like Psalm 23 is it's quite a mixture of verses, but it's about like how, let me make sure I get it right. It's like lying down in God's peace. I could just read it actually. Where is my Bible? And the weird thing was, right, we got given this verse to read. Not weird, it's just God, but and the night before I had read it because I felt like I should, and I was just like, whoa, okay, that's awesome. It's very popular. Let's see. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I have all that I need. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along right paths, bringing honor to his name. Even when I walk through the darkest valley, I will not be afraid. For you are close beside me. Your rod and your staff protect and comfort me. You prepare a feast for me in the presence of my enemies. You honor me by anointing my head with oil. My cup overflows with blessings. Surely your goodness and unfailing love will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So, great psalm. And I had been brought quite a lot of comfort by it the night before, and then we're off praying for it. Praying over it, praying for the area, and we just prayed line by line, which was really nice, and then kind of prayed into the line. So recommend if anybody's going on a prayer walk. But yeah, that was really great. This week's teaching was on the Father Heart of God, which is a really big theme in YWAM. Like, it's kind of like their foundational thing is like the heart of God and learning about God's heart for us. So we had a speaker who's actually on staff here, so that was cool because we already knew him, and he's so good. He's actually in that couple I was talking about. So it was really nice because we went from a week where it was this family and where there was hardly any like structure to this week being very structured, and like everything was in points and everything was very organized, and he always finished on time. So that was actually such a blessing. Not that I really require that all the time, but it was just a good switch. We spoke about God's character and what it says he is in the Bible and how we know him to be loving and caring, and we have like lists and lists of things. And then comparing that to our own experience with our parents. So like how our relationships with our fathers or our parents in general can affect our relationship with God, and looking at the different ways it can. I was really blessed because our group is very mixed experiences with our fathers, but you guys, most of you know my dad. Shout out. But he is amazing, and so are both of my parents. So it was very much like we would have lists of like really bad things parents have done, and I'm like, I have like none of those, which I'm so blessed by. So I'm able to compare. Obviously they're not perfect because none of us are, but I was able to compare like their positive attributes and how it's contributed to my relationship with God, and also just some of the small things that have affected the way I think. And we also spoke about God in, actually before I say that, it's just really helpful to think about it that way, because obviously in life we encounter people with very mixed relationships with their fathers, and to be able to be like almost to validate their mixed experiences and to see how that could affect their relationship with God, and to be able to help them in that because we know that it happens. And that was really useful, and from a missionary viewpoint as well. And then we spoke about Genesis quite a lot, because obviously that shows a lot of God's heart because he chose to make us, and talking about like the beginning and how he's intentional, and how he created everything for a reason and with a purpose. And so I've always struggled with the idea of like it came a lot from school, from doing RMPS, but with this idea of like, okay, so I get that God gave us a choice to choose the apple, or to choose basically evil, because he wanted us to have free will, and if he didn't, then we'd be like robots. But I'm always like, why would he not just give us a different choice that didn't involve being separated from him, or that the world would then experience the fall? And I was like, I don't understand that. And then it really clicked for me this week about God's heart and God's love in the story, and I really saw it in terms of like God gave us the choice because he loves us so much, and he gave us the choice to choose to love him and to choose to follow him. And he knew that if we didn't choose that, like what happened, he already had another plan. And instead of just casting us out, he chose to give us a life where we could still have him, and then eventually have the Holy Spirit within us. So it's just like seeing it from that, and seeing like he gave us the choice to love him, and that's the most beautiful choice and the most free choice ever. So I was really blessed by that, and just seeing God's heart in that. We also had quite a lot of reflection time, so we had a lot of like, here's the points and here's what it is, and then let's go reflect. So we wrote a letter, we did a lot of prayer, we shared with our one-on-ones, and then at the end on Thursday we had this big meditation set up. So there was different stations, and every station was one of the 7 times that Jesus bled before his crucifixion and during it. So it was really like deep. It was a deep morning, because we would just go through all of the stations and reflect and pray on it. But although like the suffering is so intense and he should never have gone through it, it then resulted in me reflecting so much on the joy that I have because of it, and the freedom I have, and how because of what Jesus did, I can live a life that is free and joyful, and just like being a child of God because of what he did. Like he took on all of it, he bled for us so that we could have life in all its fullness. And it was just such a beautiful reminder of that. And yeah, like, what was I going to say? Yeah, I was just really struck by that, and I hadn't really thought about the fact there's a bit in the Bible where it says when he was overcoming the temptation of the world, and like the forgiveness for everybody, he literally bled from sweating, like almost as if it was sweat that he was bleeding. And it just made me think, like, all the temptations that I have and all the forgiveness I need to do is so small compared to what he did for us. So it just made it so much easier that morning to forgive. And then we took communion, and then I just sat and coloured and played basketball. And it was just so freeing, and so it really blessed me this week. I wonder if I wrote anything in my journal about it that would be good to share. Let's see. Yeah, let me see. I'm going to pause it and then let's have a look. Yeah, I'll read a little bit of this because this is like real-time reflection, so I don't forget. This is what I wrote down after the week. I definitely feel that after this week's teaching, I know more of God's character and plan, not only from my perspective but for others, and that he simply wants us to know his heart more, to abide with him, and to believe in his true character, not my own lens. And then I said, Lord, help me to grow in my view of your true heart. So that kind of sums it up, actually. I would recommend any of the teaching because it's just so good. And like from all of our different perspectives, we were all helped by it. So that was really good. I was just checking, I had unpaused it. Okay, the weather this week was so good. It really has gone back to good, and apparently this is like kind of rare to have this nice weather at this time, so that is awesome. We've been having highs of like 22 degrees, 17 to 22 degrees. On one of the days we ate lunch in the garden, and we had Indian food, and it was so good, and we just like sat in the sun and played music and had some nice time together, so that was really nice. I'd say this week has been a week of just deepening relationships in general, like with the people at my school. Like we've just had so much more time of like socializing and growing and kind of going through different tensions and changes and really like growing with each other in that. And there was a nice point where me and the girl that I'm sharing a room with, we went up to the coffee shop. It's a really nice coffee shop, and we just sat for like an hour and chatted about the week and just our lives in general, and we relate so much, and it's so cool to see God's intention behind that and how like our group is very varied, but me and her have very similar experiences and like family experiences, so it was really nice just to sit and talk. There's been a lot of that this week. In the Ellis room it was good this week. Lots of, well, I did showers, that was really peaceful. Nothing like crazy happened, but people were just leaving the showers so clean, and I'm still struck by the intention behind that and how they still want to give back. And then on Wednesday, I was in the Ellis room and I was in later because we were doing dishes for a while, so I just kind of went and sat, and it was just so joyful. Like I played a game of pool, of which they always have a list of 30 people signed up, and they get the same guys at the pool table like every day. It's ridiculous. And then this sweet guy was playing chess, and he asked me if I wanted to play, and I was like, I have no idea how to play it, and if anybody knows me well, they know I'm not good at that kind of thing. Like I cannot strategize. But I was like, sure, like if you want to teach me, you can. So we sat and he tried to teach me, and he was so patient and kind, so that really blessed me. And it was just like, it felt like making friends more. Like we were just chilling, and there was some fun music. One of the volunteers, who's honestly the most joyful person I've known, was just like walking around collecting the trash and playing his music, and it was just a really fun day. We were also really blessed this week with a dinner with one of the guys from the community who has been volunteering. He is still addicted to drugs, but it's one of these stories I would love to tell more about when I get home so that I can tell all the details. But he invited us for dinner, and unfortunately the place we were going to go to that gives out free meals was closed, so we came back and we ordered chicken, like crispy chicken, and we had the most amazing night. We played a bunch of games, he shared a lot about his life, we had a really good meal, and it just like, oh, it was so joyful. And it was one of these things where like, yeah, I would have never have had that opportunity, and to be able to have that opportunity was really such a blessing. And then on Thursday night we had culture evening, which was so good. So we had like planned this for the staff, and everybody came and everybody brought a meal from their culture, which was incredible. So we had like, I'll maybe post a video or a photo of it, but we had this big table, like potluck kind of thing, full of everyone's food. So we had like Nigerian food, Madagascar. I made stovies, so you can, I don't cook, but I did make stovies and everybody loved it, so that's good. And we had New Zealand cookies, we had American biscuits, we had Indian food, Thai food, fried chicken, like cheesy gnocchi. There was loads of other things, and it was just like all on my plate. Oh, like potato salad, like a huge mixture, and then we had desserts as well. So, oh my gosh, it was delicious, and it was just really cool to learn about people's culture. That was a really fun night. So yeah, it's been a lot of like culture and socializing with the staff a bit more, which has been really nice. Oh, and a big update from this week has been that we learnt more about our outreach. So I can tell you, first I'll tell you about the weekend and this guy that came in, and then I'll finish on outreach. So yeah, that's good. So yeah, there was one, it was Friday evening. We didn't do hot chocolate because there wasn't enough people signed up, which was kind of a blessing because we were all tired. So we just sat and had a lovely meal together and reflected on the week. And then this guy comes in who works in the community. I think it's on Saturdays, and he calls himself, oh, I can't remember his name, but evangelist, and then his name. So you can imagine the energy that he has. And he came in, he was just talking to us, and then he fully just starts like prophesying over us. And I'm always a bit like weary of it because I'm like, they could just be making it up. So obviously I'm holding all of it lightly. But he literally like didn't know us, asked us where we were from, that was it. And then he just started like telling us what he was hearing from God about our lives. And everything that he said about each of us, something was accurate to our personalities and to what we're doing. And I was just like, this is wild. Like, it felt normal. And then I was like, wait, like this is because I'm in a missionary gap year and people like this just exist and just tell you. So that was really fun. He spoke to me about how like I was a worshipper, and how I was a leader and I would lift my hands in praise and all this stuff. It was very cool. A crazy experience, very unexpected for a Friday evening because he literally was just coming in to make the coffee and then he left. So that's a little insight into the more intense spiritual stuff. But you know what? He was a really kind guy and it was really funny, and he prayed with us and blessed us and it was really nice. Okay, so outreach details. So on Friday morning we have like our big debrief of the week. That was such a blessing just to talk about the week and what had happened and reflect. And then they told us outreach details. So there's a bit of a big update actually. So I don't know if I know the dates off by heart. They're on my phone, which I'm filming on, so that's not helpful. But maybe I'll post them. So on the 24th of March, which is crazy because that's so soon, it's like 3 weeks away. We leave and we fly to Rome, and then we drive from Rome to Pisa, which is where the YWAM base is that we're going to be at. And then we're in Pisa at YWAM Cultivate is what it's called, for 3 weeks. There will be a conference when we're there, so we'll be helping with that. We'll be doing some kids work, which I'm so excited about, and just some general community outreach and helping with them. The thing with outreach is it's more like we are a missionary team, and where you need us to help, we can help. So we did that. We're gonna do that, and then after Pisa, we then go from Pisa to Canada, which has been added because there was a bunch of like changes because of people not being able to like host us, and then this opportunity came up, and they've been wanting to link up with this base and the Canada base for a while. It's called Fort McMurray. And they have very similar goals in terms of like building relationships. Their mission is very similar, so that's exciting. So we're going to be going there for a month. So we'll be going from the 15th of April until like 14th of May, I think. And we'll be staying there. They have a lot of outreach for young teenagers, so I'm really excited about that, to do some kind of more youth work stuff. We don't know the full details of like what we're doing, we just know we're going there. And then we'll be there until the 14th of April. And then after that, we come back to San Francisco, no, sorry, 14th of May, come back to San Francisco, and then we're doing outreach here for just about a month, I think. So it will be like Ellis Room, what we're already doing, and then there's going to be some extra outreach, like maybe helping with other organisations in the area, going to some of the YWAM like bases, working with churches. Like there's going to be a bit of a change in pace, which will be nice. And I'm actually really glad we're coming back because I'm not ready to be done with here in 3 weeks. So maybe I'll be thinking differently in 3 weeks, but yeah, it's such a blessing to be able to come back. And then one of the weekends when we're back closer to the end, we're going to go to Iona House, which is a place like 2 hours from here, and it's like a little retreat centre, which is going to be so nice. Like it's like a little city break. They have goats and they have like a really nice prayer area, and we're going to reflect on like the whole outreach and probably the whole school in general. And then we'll come back here and we'll have a week where we're having preparation for coming home, and then we'll graduate on, I think it's the 19th of June, and then I'll have a few days before my flight back, and then I'll get home. So I'm so excited that we literally get to do Pisa in Italy, Canada, here, and then go to a retreat. Like, it's worked out so well. So lots of flying, lots of probably jet lag, lots of different weather, because Canada's going to be really cold, Pisa's going to be relatively nice, and then that retreat it's going to be like 30 degrees. So I'm really excited, and I hope that blesses you guys knowing the information a bit more. All in all, I had a really restful weekend, just like journaling. We stayed in the area, but I went to the park that was really cool. Oh, and I went to a different church this weekend just to try it out, and I loved it. So anybody that's been praying for that, thank you, because honestly it felt a lot like home. Like the speaker reminded me of TBC, and it really blessed me. So I'm going to be praying into that, but I feel like maybe that is where God's calling me next, because I think the church I was at served me for the time period that I needed it to, but now I'm not sure if it will. So I think I might go to this new one, and also my one-on-one is going there, and she was encouraging it. So yes, that was such a blessing, and if you want to know what it is so you can search it up, then I can let you know if you send me a message. But yeah, thank you all for your support. It means a lot. I've been getting a lot of messages and prayer, so I'm really grateful for it. I'm having an awesome time. I can't believe we are in week 8. It's crazy. Missing you all, but the joy and the excitement of here is overriding that, which is how it should be. So that is such a blessing. And I hope you're all doing good. Let me know. Send me a message. Yeah. And I will speak to you soon.